me.
No, and I even made a mistake dating a woman once to watch some porn that was directed and written by women. Oh my God, so boring. Oh my God.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Meta Cafe, where we're talking about porn today.
I'm titillating. I'm always titillating.
It is titillating. Good morning, Suzanne. Thank you for joining us this morning. So welcome, and grab your coffee and or tea. Oh, I have a plain cup this morning. That's just so not fun.
Sometimes you have to have like a sorbet cup, one that clears in between. I love white coffee cups. Sorbet,
yeah,
the thing that cleanses the palate in between meals. That's your sorbet cup. Never mind.
No. So we have a magical day today. I was rewriting the lyrics to some of the Christmas songs too. It's the most magical time of the year. No, I cannot sing. However,
wait.
No,
I was going to break this out later, but since you began with the carols, just give me the lyrics. It's the most magical time of the year.
Yeah, but that's not the name of the song. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Magical time of the year. There'll be plenty of good and bad food, and people are queer. It's the most magical time when you're queer.
Jason, oh my gosh, you could make the dead laugh.
I got this. Oh, wait, let me turn it off. I got this 2 years ago, because everyone knows I hate karaoke. I despise karaoke. At one point, I even told all of my friends, hey, in the conservatory, when they got out and they were in New York City doing all this experimental opera and shit, they would invite me. And I'm like, look, bro, there's not enough cannabis or alcohol. I wouldn't to go and see you sing. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, it was some weird, fucked up, like modern squeak and fart opera where nothing made sense. It was like, and so they got me this because they know I loathe listening to other people sing unless they're good. And it has a regular voice and it has an elf voice. I like
the elf voice.
So do I. It makes that cute. Fuck you, motherfucker. Right? There's no way to be angry at that. Anyway.
Nope.
So I will keep breaking that out until Christmas.
I love it. Good morning, Mimi. Thank you for joining us. So I started this whole conversation with not porn, as you might have heard when we first walked in, but with the idea of magic, because I want to read something to y'all today. I'm a big fan of the Gene Keys and Richard Rudd's work. And so I belong to the Gene Key list. And I love this time of year because the sun moves into, in human design, the gate or Gene Key 11. And it's all about light, right? The gate 11 is about light and ideas and this wonderful magical realism. So I'm going to read to you the message he sent out this morning. It says, the only thing needed for magic to occur is some form of structure and an open mind.
Say that again?
The only thing needed for magic to occur is some form of structure and an open mind. As humans begin to think once again with our right brains, so we will bring much needed balance to the world of form. The result will manifest in the world around us as the dominance of the patriarchal form subsides and the power of the feminine pole comes into balance with the male. This is the true meaning of the time we are living through. It is why so much ancient tribal knowledge is once again pouring into the collective consciousness of our planet. It is through this 11th gift that the true art of magic is once again returning to our world. Love it.
I loved everything about that, Janet, except I violently reacted against the first sentence. Isn't that weird? I love everything that came after that, but I didn't agree on any level with his first sentence.
Why? What's the matter? You have to have something, some structure to hold the magic, right? And the structure could be as simple as a human body that is ready to receive the light.
Yeah, I like the way you say it better. Sorry, lady. That doesn't grab me at all what he wrote, but that's just besides the point. I love the end part. Wow.
Yeah.
I would like to take this time, which I rarely do, to get on my soapbox. Are you ready, everyone?
Yes.
I'm not as nice as Janet.
Oh dear.
Maybe I could soften it up with an elf voice. Maybe a little elf voice will help this. No, I won't do that to you all. Woo.
Good morning, Viva. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning, all y'all. Okay, so I believe that bringing things out of the dark into the light is one of my jobs as a light worker. I kind of hate that word, light worker. It makes me feel like a reject from the cast set of Star Wars, but I'll go with that for right now. As many of you know who have listened to my radio show, Titillating with Jason Livanis, which is under the umbrella of the Living Astrology radio slots, I suffered on and off in my life from extreme levels of bipolar to very little levels of bipolar. I think it's really, really important that people talk about this. So because it's personal to me, I'm going to bring it out. My mom was bipolar. I would enjoin all of you to look up Jennifer Lewis, proud Black lady. She just wrote a book called The Mother of All Hollywood, where she tells everything. She was somebody who was a victim of bipolar for many, many years. I became medicated about 3 years ago with the right medication. I will repeat that. The right medication. The wrong medication, I can get into the side effect, but I don't want to overwhelm everyone with the grossities of it. Ever since being properly medicated, my life has changed dramatically. No, I can't talk.
That's Mercury.
Thanks for all of the other people out there who are empaths, who are intuitives, who are X, Y, and Z. I'm going to use the word sensitives here. If you went back to the time of Bedlam, you would see that the crazy houses were filled with people who were either psychic, channeling, etc., or dealing with infections from teeth that drove them crazy. So, yes, Roseanne, I'm pretty about, if you ever listen to my radio show, Roseanne, you'll see that I talk about it quite often because I was told to look up the pantheon of, or the club of bipolar, people like Robin Williams. I mean, I'm in the set with genius people. Now, I'm not calling myself genius. What I am saying is that Janet talks about these gene keys for a reason. It's not because she's like, what the fuck am I going to talk about today? Let me throw a dart at a map at the chart and see what comes up. It doesn't work like that.
But that's a good idea.
Shut up. Wait. So I know there's no way around that. That's just fucking funny. Too bad it doesn't have like a fart unit. If it had, I think, a fart unit, it'd be even funnier. It'd be like, Merry Christmas, fart. Getting back. Sorry, I digress. We're trying to keep a sober tone to this. Janet's probably wondering how the fuck I'm going to tie this all together. It's simple. I have suffered from certain maturations. Pay attention to the words, please. I have suffered from certain maturations mentally, physically, lower back, mentally. I can keep going because I just didn't fucking know what my strategy was. I didn't know. Here was this, it's like having a car, a European car, because you haven't seen it before. You've seen American cars. It's like seeing a European car, but not being given the directions on how to drive it. So the fact of the matter is with this human design, she showed me how certain gates, when they go awry, can precipitate, manifest, into mental scenarios that are downright bipolar. Please, all of you psychics, all of you empaths, all of you intuits out there, who know of anybody who might be bipolar, or are you suspecting? I mean, I now am in love with my bipolar. I mean, I have songs about it. That's hysterical. I listen to the radio. This one girl, she cracks me up. She goes, I've got bipolar disorder. My shit's not in order. And I mean, she just goes on from there. It's hysterical.
I heard that. Did you send that video to me or something? Or did I just find it on my own somehow?
No, I sent it to you one time. It just, it
Okay,
cracks me
yeah.
up.
I was cracking up.
The hook of the song is, I don't care if people know what my secrets are. And so that's kind of the way I have it, because if I can reach somebody who has bipolar or who doesn't know, I mean, Jennifer Lewis walked around for 20, 30 years with it. I had always been in the manic phase. So it was Mr. Up, Mr. Getting Things Done, Mr. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, until the shit hits the fan. And so why am I bringing this up and belaboring my soapbox? People, I don't give a flying rat's twat what you think or you don't think you may have. But if you know of somebody that is a challenging personality, if you yourself are sensitive and you just like, oh my God, one minute you kind of want to bake cakes for everyone, and then the next minute you're thinking about buying flamethrowers, that is a tip-off. Excessive energies, the non-correct use. Okay, I'm a generator, folks. Janet very simply told me, dude, you got to exhaust your motor every day. This is where the motor is located on you. And if you don't, there is an ugly little byproduct. All that energy starts to just twirl, fester, and it goes into places where you do not need it. I try to make sure that I am, if not exhausted, pretty fucking tired when I go to bed, to deplete that thing. So I want to tell you, Janet has impressed in my life in so many ways. And as we've worked together in our coachings, and she's like talking about these certain aspects and these certain channels and these certain lines and having these certain planets in conjunction with them, it's like, well, of course I am who I am. But you can't know who you are unless you investigate. Knowing thyself, please.
Know thyself.
Please, more than astrology, more than tarot, more than numerology, get yourself a human design chart if you know of anybody like this, so they can figure out their design and strategy. They can know how to go forward without spinning down the rabbit hole. So that's my soapbox. Janet has helped me with bipolar. These things are in your DNA. Get over it. It's not something caught on the bathroom toilet seat. Although that's a different show.
That's a totally different show.
Oh my God. So my Wednesday night show. Go ahead.
So to your point, Jason, exactly what you're saying in terms of there are a lot of people out there running around believing that they have bipolar disease. Now, it's a possibility that that is a real condition.
Yes, but it doesn't need to be expressed.
Out of one's human design, and if you're emotionally defined, meaning your emotional center is broadcasting emotion, and you happen to have gate 55, 39, and any of the gates on that emotional center defined, you are at times going to be going into the low part of your emotional wave, because it flows. It has a sine wave effect, right? Where you have these high highs, you have low lows. Some people have undulating high lows. All right. Some people go way high right now. And then drop.
She's doing this white good witch bullshit. Let me tell you something, folks. There is a channel called The Abyss.
The Abyss?
Don't you remember The Abyss channel? Is it channel number 1 or some shit like that that I have defined? Look, there are a lot of areas in the chart.
Hold on.
Let me get my...
It's called The Abysmal. That's an I Ching name.
Now, let me tell you why I say that, folks, because there are more than one gate and more than one channel that can precipitate and add. When you get more than one thing going down, I want to tell you, we all have things in our coding. It's how you stack the chips to whether they're going to express themselves or not express themselves. I'm looking at Viva, and I don't have my glasses on, and it looks like, oh gosh, I don't have my glasses on. What's the last name?
Labucite.
Labucite. I'm going to say, unless there's an accent on the E. Thank you for acknowledging that. Your picture is delicious. Yeah, so how funny. We have been yabbering and yammering, and we've hardly gotten to any of the, yeah, you do, Suzanne.
Actually, this is absolutely perfect because when the sun moves into gate 11, it really triggers the quest for spiritual answers. It is often called the gate of the seeker, but not necessarily the finder. It is often the gate that pushes us because it sits on the ajna, the second center, which is called the mind. And when in our lives we get done or we start to get frustrated with the mind, meld that's going on, the mind trap that goes on in our minds, we begin to push ourselves outward to find answers. And the answers aren't always found. They're never found in the mind. So it sends us out on a spiritual journey. So this particular time of year with the sun at gate 11 reminds us that there's more to us than meets the eye, that there's some magical component, and we go out and we search for that magical component or the magic in life. And to finish what I was talking about with the emotional center is that the people who have that defined are defined to have those ups and those down periods of time. It is when you're in the low part of your emotional wave, the part that you might misinterpret as depression or melancholy, that there is a lot of integration going on. And out of that integration comes this splendid creative energy. And so generators who have the emotional center defined are often having these times of high and low that are times of melancholy and incredible creativity. So, but you don't know that that's happening to you unless you get a human design reading or a human design chart at the very minimum, so you can kind of take a look at what's going on in your chart. If you have an open emotional center, meaning there's nothing that's colored it in, then you are empathic and you're absorbing the energy from the world around you or the environment around you, amplifying it and then rebroadcasting it. And now we're talking about conditioning. You're conditioned to believe that you are your emotions instead of feeling your emotions. So it becomes a very interesting self-study once you learn about your human design. And there are other types besides generators, but Jason and I happen to be generators, as is a couple of people that I see out there.
Hey,
and
this might not be a question for now, but I had a question that popped into my head, and I won't remember it. Maybe you can take mental note or just jot a little thing. Let's say I am emotional, and let's say, are there better types that work with different defined centers? Does that make sense? In other words, does a projector work better with an emotional defined? Does that make what I'm saying any sense?
It makes sense what you're saying, and the answer is no. There isn't one type that's any better and that works better with any other centers. But in every type and every person, we are conditioned to believe certain things. Whether it's true or not is the key, right?
Yes.
If it's true that you're meant to work and have a lot of energy and expend it by the end of the day, then that's true for you. But there's several types out there that aren't meant to work, that aren't meant to do the daily grind, such as you or I could do. And they're your projectors, reflectors, and manifestors. They work in a different way, yet they're conditioned by this interesting greed, production-oriented society that we live in to believe that their value is wrapped up in the actual work they do, the productivity that they put out. And that's so not true. And it ends up burning them out. Yes. So knowing that ahead of time and working with that energy can save you so much on the physical. It's amazing. And no matter what age you
know
are,
that I never, ever am asked by Janet to plug her stuff. I say this with sincerity. You must know that. Suzanne is asking us, are we in the age of Aquarius? Is that why?
Definitely. Or on the cusp of the age of Aquarius, depending on who you talk to and what you're using as the defining moment. We are certainly at the cusp. So, for example, if you're born on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer, like I am, I'm definitely a Gemini, but there are lots of Cancer traits that I'm displaying in my life. Same thing here. We are on the cusp of the age of Aquarius. So there's a lot of Aquarian energy available, but we're still in that Piscean age where we're still stuck in religion and we're still stuck in the idea of utopia and the realistic kind of, oh God, the mess that is the age of Pisces at this moment. But we are moving definitely toward that age of Aquarius.
So for today, because we've talked about so many things, I'd like to draw a card, but I'm not sure if I understand because I've gone around, what your exact energy for the day was. If you can recap for me quickly.
I will recap for you quickly. Today is all about light. Remember, yesterday we started this sort of conversation, so intuitively I was already gearing up for this gate to suddenly manifest in the world as the magic of being in the light, of engaging more and more light, of allowing it to filter into your DNA and really light up the part of what it is that you're here to help us with in this world. What are you here to do? Who are you here to be? Is that a good or is that a bad
It's an excellent because it's apropos. It's we're in this age of Aquarius. We're in this water of emotions. We are, to be honest with you, in some really pivotal. I know we kind of say that a lot, but we are at a pivotal place. And with Suzanne says Cancer with Gemini rising and Moon in Libra.
Well, Suzanne, I am a Gemini with a Cancer rising and a Virgo moon. So we have some commonalities going on here. And Natasha says she's grateful for knowing her human design. I am grateful that I learned human design myself. It radically changed my life for the better.
Speaking of the moon.
Oh dear, we pulled the moon this morning.
Now that's an excellent card for today. Now you're probably thinking, oh, the bitch is back. How can she be good?
That would never have occurred to me except for your radio show where you made me play that song in ad nauseum.
All of it. Okay.
Show the card again. Yeah, there's something really odd about that moon hanging up over the headless body or something. That just freaks me out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this card is lacking the Rosicrucian imagery, the Masonic imagery, the God imagery, the soul code imagery that should be in this card. Now, I'm going to see how good, hi, Michelle. I'm going to see how good Janet is if she ever pays attention and is not doing crossword puzzles. How would I tie this card in for today?
My guess is because of the light and the idea of bringing more light into your DNA.
Everybody who tuned in yesterday saw the Sun card, which comes after this. Now,
which I find interesting.
The Sun from the moon is a reflective, the light from the moon is a reflective light. It is a light that is being reflected from God onto you. And it is the very last of you need to shine a light on this before you can get to ascension, before you can get to the next level. This card for this day and your energetic composition is saying this is not little stuff you're going to be looking at, folks. This is the internal, this is the what are my attachments in life? It is through dealing with these attachments that we go into a place of observation, of a neutrality. In this place, this Buddhistic place of understanding, we are then able to become enlightened. But you can't get enlightened by the Sun, the 19 card, until you have looked at your shit. You gotta look at your shit. That's what this card.
That totally screwed your voice up.
You gotta look at the shit. It's like having a munchkin and a microphone. This is the card that says, if you don't do it now, your chances of sinking into denial, your chances of starting back at zero And I mean that spiritually. It's like taking that total layer off the onion and realizing, I got another layer to go before I get to the heart of it. That is my reading for you all today. Folks, don't shy away from your spiritual, mental, and psychological responsibilities. And that, I think, is the theme, given that I just started with the bipolar. By the way, the moon is one of the bipolar cards. Yay, lunatic.
Well, one of the things that occurs to me as you start talking about the moon card and the fact that the moon is purely a reflection of the sun's light. And if we're allowing ourselves to be a channel for the light, then what we are reflecting is really the God self within us and the part of ourselves that we're here to allow out.
We want to get out of the reflective state into being the sun, which is the generative flowing through state. That's the crux. This is the, I have everything taken care of, but I never really settled my heart and soul because Dad used to diddle with me. Get my drift? It's that last piece of fuselage before you take off. Suzanne needed to hear that. Which part?
I think
wait, was it Suzanne? Was it the fuck you part?
I'm not sure, but I'm guessing because it popped up at about the time you were talking about the moon. It was probably something that you said about the moon. Today, let's talk about the moon because the moon is in our favorite sign, Scorpio, still today. And Roseanne loves it when the moon is in Scorpio because she's a Scorpio. And not Suzanne, Roseanne. Did I say Suzanne? Because I meant Roseanne. And it'll conjunct to the planet Jupiter today. So expect some sort of illumination of some sort. And it may not be until later in the day. It may be through your dreams tonight that you wake up to it. Oh, I just remembered a dream I had this morning where I was outside of my house and there was a little girl out there who I presume was the neighbor, and she turned into a wolf, a gray wolf. And she was standing there and suddenly noticed my cat was outside and went to go get my cat. Interesting, huh? And then I woke up because I didn't want to have to tangle with that wolf.
I can assure you that Carl Jung would have a field day, as I would, with that dream.
Yeah, beautiful wolf. I love wolves. Anyway, moon in Scorpio, going to conjunct Jupiter later. Expect some kind of or some form of illumination. It may even create some interesting dreams as your unconscious mind is trying to telescope some form of information into your consciousness for you to be able to work through. I wanted to say something because this is funny, Jason. You know, you've had a lot of dental stuff going on. So this morning, not only is Roseanne having to have dental work, but somebody else in here, Michelle, your friend, is also getting dental work done today. Interesting to get your dental work done in the last, Saturn, who rules the teeth, is in the last degree of Sagittarius before it moves into the sign it rules and perhaps creates a whole host of other problems. Right on. Follow your intuition and get your health checked as it relates to your teethers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm done.
No.
I'm not done?
No, you're not. You need to tell our illustrious viewers what is happening this evening. I know that I will be assisting the one and only, the great Janet Hickox. However, we are in Mercury retrograde, and I want to tell you it has not gone right yet. Last night, couldn't see the board. So tonight, tune in to see what debacle will occur when we try.
Last night it was good. What are you talking about? I didn't see any debacles.
I couldn't see the board.
Oh, that was your issue. Yes, you couldn't.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tonight.
I mean that happened for whatever reason, but Mercury retrograde affecting Jason, his favorite brand.
No, you're not doing eclipses. What am I saying? Janet is finishing up some information on the winter solstice, and that's good because look, it looks so wintry out.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So Janet is going to be finishing up on the winter solstice, and she's going to be telling us on how they keep the gel freshener mouthwash part from the toothpaste part in the tube separate. So join us.
Okay.
I'm making shit up.
Yeah, you are. And I'm not even sure that I'm really doing winter solstice because I thought I finished it last week. But if I didn't finish it last week, then we will finish that up and we'll move on into something interesting like, oh, what in the hell is coming up for 2018? Because it's so very near, isn't it? And we might do that by looking retrospectively at 2017 and seeing what we learned and what we can take with us into the next year. So
Janet asked me to
show Suzanne. I'm going to answer Suzanne's question here because the radio show is on Blog Talk. And if you go to the same page that you're watching us on right now, Living Astrology, in about an hour, I will have the link posted. You can watch two ways or listen two ways. One, you can click on the link. It'll open up in your computer and you'll be able to listen to it live on the computer or on your phone or on your iPad or tablet, whatever. Or two, you can call into the show. And if you do that, I'm going to put the number here. If you do that, you can listen to the show as well as get in contact with us for a reading or just to ask questions or to chat with us. So there's the phone number for the radio show. And it just depends on how you want to connect. Me, personally, I always connect through the computer. Jason, phone, right?
No, I mean, I connect, yes. My oral and oral are done through the phone because I'm joining you in the studio. I see my studio, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Janet, after the program, the thought occurred to me that is it too labor intensive to be able to get the short link up on the day of so we can have it here for our viewers? Or that's too hard for you because you have to create the show and then they give you a short link and then I don't know how that works.
I usually create my show the day of the show because you because you do the same thing to me. So I can't really, if I did that, then no.
Yeah. Thank you for sitting through that with us, folks. This is what Jason and Janet get through technology.
Yeah. Technology, I should do it. I mean, I can plan my shows for weeks ahead of time. And I have done that in the past. But I can never get to the short link very easily doing it that way. So I just wait. Okay. Just know I'm out there. Who knows what we're going to talk about. Sometimes inspiration strikes me in the middle of the day and I totally change the show up. Yep. So, in fact, I was thinking this morning as I was brushing my teeth that perhaps we would go into a discussion of the root center in human design since it's the interface between us and Mother Earth. And what do those energies mean? And what does that mean for us? But I haven't completely decided that one yet. So we shall see. I am a Gemini. And a woman. I can decide at the last minute, and then I can change my mind.
Oh, boy.
I reserve that right.
Yes.
So join us anyway, because no matter what, we have interesting conversations. And the show live. If you miss the show live, the same link takes you later to the replay. So you won't miss anything, even if you can't be there live, except, the ability to talk to Jason and I live on the show.
Trust me, folks, we have tried to do this thing where people can see us at the same time. It's a technological nightmare. Just ask Tim Ray. Anyway, so
yes,
I think that's it for me.
That's it for me too. So everybody go out and have a magical day. Remember, the keys are magical realism. Bring the magic in and work it. Work it. Work it. That I know there's a song around that. Totally. At any rate, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. Same place, same time. Bye, Jason.
Or tonight.
Or tonight. Bye for now.